Okay, now is a quarter. Okay, in the first lab, you only the exercise only to be familiarity. You have a familiarity with the Cisco pack tracer, the main concept, how to use it, and how to see the things there. Okay. Now the new exercise is more applied. Okay, and you have two tests: the first test and the second test. The first test, the idea of the first test is only you receive the an IoT environment done, okay, and during the first lab you only understand how to get the information, for example, to analyze the status of each device, how to configure, for example, the laptop to analyze the data, but you don't know nothing. You don't insert new device in the network. Okay, it's only the first lab. You only understand. You're learning how to monitoring, how to use the this the how to use the Cisco pack tracer to analyze one network that is already implemented. The second lab is different. We receive only the case, and you need to add the home gator and the device. In the second lab, you implement from the scratch a smart home network. Okay, it's a little more difficult. The both cases is simple because the Cisco pack tracer is not so hard to use. Okay, it's easy to use. Okay, and but in the first one it's very easy. In the second ones you have a little more challenge to do. The lab has not a problem, but has one characteristic. Then to realize the lab you need to download. Just get my pointer. It works? No, does not work. Perfect. No, does not work. Okay. To work in this lab, you need to download the file from the the Cisco pack tracer, and you need to download a PDF. Then when you have the instructions, okay, the directions. The problem is the directions was done to the old version of the Cisco pack tracer because you have a small difference. It's the reason that I create this errata here. Okay, when you write, if you see the PDF, in the PDF there are places in the PDF that if you follow the PDF, it's not work well. Okay, I will show here one example. I believe it's much better to. Okay, it's open. For example, in the page 6. Okay, page 6 here. The lab is set. Okay, open the app browser and perform a group of tests. Okay, but I will open again the lab 2 here in another. Okay, but you'll see here errata 2 and the page 6. Instead of using a web navigator, you use a monitor, IoT monitor. Okay, and instead you open here, you open G1. Okay. You only need to read this errata here and follow, complement or change a little the performance that you have in the PDF using this approach, and everything will work. Okay, but if you try and it's not working, you can watch this video here. In this video here, I realized the first lab, and you can see, and I present, for example, when in the step in the page 6, I show in this video. Okay, in the lab, you ask it to open this document here, this application here, but this application not working. I will open this other one, follow the direction that you have in the canvas. Okay, if you have a problem or have difficulty, you think, oh, it's very hard to do it. Watch the video, because in the video I performed the task 1. It is the same to the task 2. You have the same problems that you have in the task 1, Again, you need to download the Backtracks, the second file, the Backtracks, Cisco Backtracks file, and they open the other PDF, and you will get the directions. Okay. Again, if you have problem here, you just only watch the video and you have the information, the required information. This lab is individual lab. Okay. However, I open the breakout room and you can work together, but it's very important to everybody perform your own exercise, knows what you're doing. Why? You have the test tree. The test tree is an evaluate lab, okay? The test tree, you need to submit until November 12th, okay? In the test tree, you read one paper, okay, this paper here, that presents a smart, complement the ideas about what is a smart office and smart build, okay? And you realize this task here. You define which sensor is required to open in this office here, okay? I provided this office, and you create a smart office, okay? You define which elements that you define, sorry, you define which elements you want to include. For example, I want to put, I believe it's important to install a fog detector here, okay? And you select and put a fog detector. Oh, you need to have a smart gator here. You insert a smart gator here, okay? Again, you define which device or which sensor you need to have in to manage the one build, okay? And creating the Cisco Pack Tracer these environments, okay? You create in the Cisco Pack Tracer, import this picture here in the Cisco Pack Tracer, and use the Cisco Pack Tracer to create the smart building to you, the smart office, okay? After you finalize and run and see the things inside your lab, you create a very short report with 3 pages only 3 pages, no more than. You can have 2, you can have, I believe it's hard to have a good report with 1 page, but you can have a report with 2 pages, but no more than 3 pages. 3 pages is the maximum, okay? In this report, you present the introduction, the development, when you explain why you define to install the device. Remember, you don't need to, oh, I put a smart lights. Okay, don't need to. Only talk about the most important device that you create in the smart home, the smart office. Okay, you have the development and the conclusion when you present your finds and the problems that you have to perform this lab. Okay, it's very important. You need to submit the Cisco Pack Tracer file, a Word file, and the PDF file about your report. You submit the report in the PDF and the Word, okay? If you use the Google Docs to generate the report, you save as a doc and submit the doc, okay? And here you already see the rubric of this activity where you see how I will evaluate you, okay? These activities is individual activity. It's the reason that it's very important to perform this lab. You really knows what you do in this lab, okay? Again, this lab here is exactly the same. It's very close, not exactly the same, but it's very close to this lab here, okay? It's not so hard. It's really similar. The 2 activities very similar. Any question, guys? No? Okay. I just see how many groups you are. Give me a second to find here. Um, 301 is 4 groups. Okay. The room is already open. Please join to the room. And if you have any question, call me, okay? And I join the room. Okay.